poppin'.
It's poppin'.
We're popping.
Hey guys, it's Lila.
And Caroline.
And Carolyn.
And today we're going to talk about pop culture in television.
I suggested that we do this podcast because I am obsessed with television, and I only really watch TV. I've cut off reading from my life. I don't really read the news anymore, and all I do is, watch TV. So that is what I know I'm knowledgeable about, and they agreed.
We spend a lot of time binge watching TV.
Yeah, whether it's on regular TV or Netflix, we are always chatting about our favorite shows and giving each other recommendations on what we should watch next. So we're just going to dive right in and talk about some of our favorite shows now. Some of them are oldies but goodies, and some of them are newer.
So we've got 3 for you today, and we're going to start with Carolyn's pick and personal favorite, Game of Thrones.
Oh, we're starting with Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's number 3.
Okay. So, yeah. I picked Game of Thrones,
Classic.
and neither of them watch it.
Well, I've watched 3 seasons.
Well, and I started the first episode, but I thought, that this was going to be, too gory for me.
Yeah. Well, it is. It's graphic.
But I understand the hype about it. I understand, why everyone's loving it so much, and I am interested,
So you understand.
I understand what's going on.
Acknowledge it. Tell me why you know that it's so popular.
Because, my whole family is obsessed with it. And so, I'm always coming downstairs and seeing them, watching one of the episodes. And I will say, I do get interested, and I do, sit there for the rest of, the 15 minutes that the episode plays.
Okay, tell me what you see. When you walk by, which part?
Okay, well, one episode, I saw someone, falling or, getting pushed down a well. Do you remember that episode where they the girl is pushed on the well?
Season 1, episode 1.
Yeah, so
it's a boy.
Okay, no, it's a girl.
No, it's
yes,
not.
it is. She's
you haven't seen the
she's
show.
yes, she is. She's in love with that man, and then he pushes her down this circular well thing and just completely falls, and she goes into a different world.
Enough about the well. What I like about the show is I'm a big fan of the costume and the set design. I'm really interested in that, and it's awesome. It's crazy.
It is. And that's one of the reasons that I love it. It's not just the writing and it's not just the characters, but the attention to detail. And okay, I told your brother this one time. Some people, when they were younger, I was obsessed with superheroes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I was obsessed with medieval kings and queens and princes and knights with swords. I loved King Arthur when I was younger. So the outfits they have, even the shoes, just everything,
awesome.
Everything about it. I'm I am. Hell yeah. I was and I asked my brother one time, I was what time period does this take place? Because I was so curious. And he was I don't think it's a real time. It could be happening now. It's not Earth. And I was yeah, okay, but yeah.
But I wish it was happening right now.
Uh-huh.
But also, I do feel I have a little bit of a leg up on Carolyn. Although she has watched all seasons, I went to Iceland for spring break and saw multiple scenes that they shot at, which were really cool, very scenic. I would definitely recommend visiting. And also, one of the coolest things ever, one of the coolest things ever that I think Carolyn should totally check out is a Game of Thrones tour that you can go and tour every scene that they filmed at in Iceland. And it was really interesting because the tour guides were dressed up like they were characters in the show. So I thought that was really fun and super interesting. And I know that
I wanted to go.
I would have loved that even more if I were a watcher.
Mm-hmm.
So I can definitely have respect for the people who are
waste
watchers.
of a ticket, but I know that seems.
Well, I didn't go.
You can't see Carolyn right now, but she's smiling so big right now.
She is just already texting her parents, being we need to book a flight.
She used to come into our math class every single day and talk to Coach Kelly about the latest episode or everything just about it while she was watching.
Okay, so I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How do you feel that it's now over? It's done.
Broken.
Yeah, you're over.
I know.
More.
No, I was
Canceled.
riding in the car with my friend today, and I was talking about it, and I was just so solemn, and she was I'm a little jealous that you have this thing that you are so passionate about, and that it drives you to actually feel so sad that it's over. I don't have anything like that. And I remember there was a point, I think I was on season 4 or 5. I told my parents, I was it is the most important part of my life.
You told me that too,
Yeah,
and
I was
concerned.
Yeah, they were oh, oh, they're like, no, you should find something more important than TV. So that's why we're even doing this podcast, is because I'm so irrationally passionate about television.
And something I think we all have a little connection to that I'm passionate about is our number 2 choice, Sex and the City.
Sex and the City.
Sex and the City
Sex and the
is
City.
iconic, honestly. It's so good. Again, the fashion is awesome. I wish I could live in the 90s and like early 2000s and stuff so I could wear those clothes. It's
and
awesome.
also, I just want to acknowledge, what girl doesn't grow up wanting to be Carrie Bradshaw?
Oh my gosh.
Like, literally.
Well, that's what I love. Like,
she is the epitome of, like, what a woman is, like, should be, and just standing up for yourself and being a badass bitch.
She is badass.
Okay, well, like, I just started it, and that is one of the reasons we agreed on this show. And what I love is just the 4 women who are so smart. All of them have real, legitimate jobs. They're so independent. Like, they live
so
alone.
Different.
They're so different. All of them have different personalities. And so, yeah, it's not just because it's Sex in the City, but it's because, like, these 4 women who, there's, like, Samantha does, like, what, PR? She does PR, and she is successful because she doesn't, like, have a husband. She doesn't have a boyfriend. She's fiercely independent.
She's so independent.
And then there's Charlotte, who's kind of quirky in her own, like,
she's put
posh
together
way. But yeah, she knows what she wants. Carrie, like Caroline said, everyone just wants to be Carrie. And Miranda, who's a lawyer, and she's fine the way she is.
She's a little weird.
She's a little weird, but she's so... And she even made a point in the episode I just watched last night that was... Like, I think the women were sitting down and they were talking about their boyfriends and their love interest. And she was like, what is wrong with you guys? We are all smart women in our 30s. Why is it that we can only talk about sex? And I like how that they're not just, nameless characters. They kind of have a background.
And they're best friends, and it's awesome to watch. I think out of the 3 of us, you would be Samantha.
Oh my God.
Carolyn would be Samantha.
Carolyn would for sure be the Samantha.
Why?
You just would be.
Okay.
You wouldn't be any of the other ones.
Well, Carrie's a journalist.
Yeah, and
Shocker.
we're all journalists, so...
Yeah, that's true.
I
feel like, who would go into law out of the 3 of us?
Not me.
I don't know anyone would. I don't think anyone would.
We can throw Miranda out of the mix.
Yeah, Miranda's
But,
the weird
like, who
one,
would be
too,
a gallery owner? Or a
I don't
sale?
know. Your personality, I see you as Charlotte.
Me?
Yeah.
I see you,
Caroline.
Charlotte, your personality. Because you're mature, but at the same time, like, you keep your, like, wishful thinking,
But one of the things, like, with this is, they're also different, which is, like, so interesting, but it also, you feel such a connection because you can relate to them. Like, we're saying, like,
oh, it's relatable.
Each one of us,
Right.
like,
Everyone
we can
finds
figure out
themselves
someone,
in a
yes.
character.
And we even find ourselves in multiple of the characters, but just, like, the pieces and just seeing, like, someone else who's, like, going through the same thing, or just, like, the epitome of, like, what we feel like our personality is.
There's
It's
a
just
deep
so
place in my
fun
heart
to
for
watch.
Carrie Bradshaw. I am Carrie Bradshaw in another life.
And who doesn't want to, like, live in New York City and, like, go clubbing? Like, some of the transitions are just so cute because they'll be like, the only thing I needed right now was a club at 2 a.m. And I was like, oh my God,
The narration, too.
Yeah, you're so, like, amazing. You're 30 years old, and you're still, like, going at it, having the time of your life. You're living in New York. You are young as can be, and you're just not letting any man, any, like, person, like, hold you back. You're just successful, and you're just having, like, a great time while doing it.
And another cool thing about this show is that a few years ago, the Carrie Diaries came out, and it's about Carrie as, like, a younger girl. She was in high school, and it only got 2 seasons, and honestly, it should have gotten more.
There's only 2.
Can I just say,
it was
guys...
one of my favorite shows.
Can I just say, Anna Sophia Robb...
Love her.
Love her.
So
there's no one who can, like, follow Sarah Jessica Parker.
No.
But I think she stepped up to the plate.
She owned it.
She really owned the
really
fact.
did.
She did it in her own way, which was, important for the role because she obviously can't be the real Carrie Bradshaw because it's just so iconic. But the way that she portrayed it, loved it.
And can we talk about Sebastian really fast?
Oh.
Because heartthrob.
Heartthrob.
Loved him.
Austin Butler, sexy, awesome, so, like, amazing actor. He, like, is imperfect in real life, and
He's dating Vanessa Hudgens.
Yeah,
which,
love
like,
her.
also our childhood, like,
Right.
can we just connect even more with him?
And they tackle a lot of issues in it, and they really connected the two shows, which was really good.
Yeah, and like you were saying about their personalities and how it's Anna Sophia Robb, right?
Yeah.
Anna Sophia Robb.
Oh,
it's okay.
Sorry, guys.
I actually don't know. I didn't know if yours was right or not, but I really liked her personality, and like you said, she like took it and she went with it, but you can kind of see it was a little different, and I think it's in like a realistic way, because don't you think in the prequel, in the 80s version of her in high school, she's kind of like
more crazy.
She's less
refined. Like she's less refined.
She's a little frantic. Yes, I think she's kind of frantic.
She was still finding herself. She was still finding Carrie.
And she's so realistic as a teenager.
She was frantic, and she was like worrisome. Like she was constantly freaking out. She had to be like the big sister, kind of like not a what's it called? Not like
she's like a mother figure.
She's kind of a mother figure, and
which isn't that a factor in the show?
Yeah.
Isn't her mother
her mom died.
Yeah, passed away.
And you can see like the early her like fashion sense. She was started as like working at her dad's like law firm or whatever, and then went to Interview magazine and like got to see all these things, and she started making her own clothes and getting her own style, which you really see pulled from Sarah Jessica Parker's Carrie Bradshaw.
But in the same like sense, it's still like very young, very like teen, and you can see like
more
the older
and juvenile.
Yeah, you can see the older Carrie Bradshaw like in glimpses.
Right.
But I liked how they had her have her own personality as a younger character.
Yeah. And like in Sex and the City, it's so different, not in the way that it like did a 180 and that her character arc was just like thrown out the window, but you can so tell she's like matured, she's an adult, she doesn't like freak out. Her facial expressions are pretty, not blank, but they're reserved.
Right.
She's mature.
And I mean, since we're on the topic of these awesome women, we're all for a strong woman. We are going to switch to our number one choice. It's upcoming. It's on its second season, and also as a book, Big Little Lies.
So I read Big Little Lies, and my mom just read it. I just gave it to her, and she loved it too. She just finished. It is such a good book, and the show, I think, does such a great job.
We've got superstars like Reese Witherspoon, Shailene Woodley,
Nicole Kidman. That Perry was like Alexander Skarsgård. He's like that one Swedish guy. I think. He was playing Tarzan.
Adam Scott, if you know who that is.
See, I'm obsessed with
And then we have this season Meryl Streep, which is awesome.
I know.
Yes,
and oh my god,
so
have you
exciting.
seen the clips of her in the trailers?
Yes, I'm so excited.
You can tell she doesn't have a big part, but you just know she like steals the show. Because I've just seen snippets of her. I'm like, oh, you look great.
And I love Reese Witherspoon. I've always loved her. I'm a big Legally Blonde fan. I just watched it on the plane the other day. And she's my favorite character by far. I love her.
And then something with this season is I don't know if Carolyn experienced this because she read the book, but I felt like I was always on the edge of my seat and I never knew what was going to happen. Like the first episode, I knew that someone died in the first season, but the first episode, I thought it was one of the kids. And so I was like shocked, like as I transitioned throughout, the first season, like what all happened and like all the twists and turns. And so I think that like they do a really great job of like keeping you on the edge of your seat and like making you interested and making you just like want to like go to the next episode because you just never know like what to expect.
By the way, this is like a 7 episode miniseries, so it's like an
HBO.
hour and a half. It's just like a movie, but 7 times, and it's like a series.
And this season 2 is off the book, right? It's completely different.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
not based off of the series anymore.
This will be
not
new for everybody who's read the book, everybody who's watching, which is really cool because everybody loved the first season so much that they had to do a second season, basically.
But then I wonder,
they won
like,
so many awards, too.
Yeah, but then I wonder, are book lovers, like, gonna watch second season? Like, how are they gonna feel about, like, the difference?
I mean, like, Game of Thrones, just
also
kind of back. Also books, they stopped basing, the writers, David Benioff and, like, D.B. Weiss or whatever, they stopped basing the show off the book because the books ended after season 6. So 7 and 8 were their own writing. It was, like, their own brainchild. And 7 and 8 were, like, every single viewer's least favorite seasons, like trash. Everyone thought that the last 2 were bad and like that they just stopped trying. So that I like fear for, I guess, because now the second one is like up to TV writers and not an author. I'm sure Leanne Moriarty, she'll be on board with it and she'll probably be like producing whatever. But yeah, that's what I worry.
But I think there's hope for like next season because Meryl Streep is in it and we're like they are definitely getting excited.
So much buzz too.
Yeah. So I have faith that like it will work out in everyone's favor because it is such an interesting show and it is kind of one of those shows that you can take it in so many different directions and it like will still be so amazing. And I think that, like, also after 6 seasons, it was hard for, like, Game of Thrones to, like, rewrite themselves. But, like, we are in the, like, prime time to, like, start doing something different. They're only on season 2.
I mean,
with, like,
they're not
8
out.
episodes.
Right. And, what was I going to say? There were a lot of parts to the first season that were, like... there were a lot of parts to the book that were left out of the first season. So there's still going to be a lot of, like, book material in the second season. And, so that, like... That's comforting, you know? They're not going to, like, stray totally off. But I think this show is so good because of the, like, familiarity, you know, of, like, the moms. Like, if you watch all of their little, like, mannerisms and, like, the nuances of just, like, motherhood, sort of. Like, you know, like, you see them at the school pickup and they're just, like, they're so used to, like, interacting with each other that it's just, like, muscle memory, you know? Like, I'm trying to think of an example. Like, there's Renata and she's like on the phone and she's like, oh sorry, I gotta take this, like we're seeing Hamilton, I've seen it 4 times, but just like the way she said it was so like obnoxious.
It reminds me a lot about
it's just like
I don't know the parents that like I know like who I've like grown
up with
see,
that's
because
I like
they're talking about how they're going to yoga after
right,
and like
exactly.
all these things and it's just like I feel like I'm in Johnson County like I know these
people.
Like,
oh.
But like which credit to them for like making it
up
realistic.
So well? That's what I thought.
Like it does seem like it's like rich moms like coming and picking up their children from school and like fighting about something stupid.
Right.
But like there is drama behind it and there's totally drama behind
and a lot
all
of
like
kids.
The moms in Johnson County and like all that kind of stuff.
I mean like the actresses
so
just like emulate the just scenarios I have seen since I was also in first grade, like these kids that I watch moms in their yoga pants, like, you know, kind of bicker and sort of like bitch at each other.
And also credit to Reese Witherspoon because I know she's a mom herself, but I'm sure she hasn't had the like exact same experience just because she's always been in like the spotlight as a mom. So like the fact that she can relate to like moms who like aren't in the spotlight and who are just like normal moms like living in like Johnson County or whatever place is like really like a credit to her like acting. I think that's so cool for her.
Yeah, we really liked all 3 of these choices. I know not all of us have seen all of them, or all the seasons of them, but... I
think we've all seen all of these shows, but, like, just not in their entirety.
And, you know, like, that's the whole point of television. Everyone has, you know, their own thing, and, like, everyone has the opportunity to watch what they enjoy.
I mean, we had trouble, like, deciding on 3 shows, because all of us had seen so many, but not all the same, you know? Like, we hadn't shared 3 until we settled on these, and I was kind of, like, set in Game of Thrones. Like we were talking about Game of Thrones no matter what.
Yeah, 100%. We are so excited about this. We want to keep on doing more episodes.
And also, you know, as we go on, we would love to, like, focus in on one season. So now, like, the Big Little Lies is coming out. Like, maybe it's fun if we have a little recap of the episode along with just our overview of, you know, television shows in general.
Zero in on it, television.
Yeah. So stay tuned.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you for watching.
And that's
what's popping.
Yeah.
All right.